Hey, entrepreneurs, I'm Dominique, and you are on the Domino Effect. This channel is a 100% free courses and trainings on how to start a business and, more importantly, how to get money for your business. Because there's nothing worse than when you're ready to grow, you're ready to scale, you've got this great idea, you're ready to keep it going, keep it pushing, and you go into the bank, and all you're doing is hitting denial, 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 denial after denial. So that's exactly what this channel is for. It's for you, yourself, the entrepreneur. People are charging thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just to give this free information, that I'm giving to you guys for free. The only thing that I ask is please for you to hit that like button, hit that follow button, subscribe, and share, because businesses are the most vital part of this nation. That's you. And so in order to help you grow successfully, you need all of the tools and resources at your disposal. And that's exactly what you're going to find here on the Domino Effect. In today's training, we're talking about how you can get started with your business step by step. I'm Dominique. I've been in the finance space for about 6 years now, and I've helped startups all the way to multi-million-dollar companies get funded. I've helped companies that have already been denied by the banks. We've helped clients that have already basically been considered unbankable and taking them from unbankable to bankable. And really, guys, it all starts with just information. Women, veterans, minority-owned businesses, people of color, these are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs here in the US right now in 2025. Guys, yet they are the most severely underfunded. If you ask me, that is a problem. Guys, it's not that the resilience or the want or the need isn't there, because what happens when you start your own business? When you successfully build your business, you're creating financial freedom. You're creating legacy for your family. You're stepping out of the employer mindset and moving into a business owner mindset and creating more opportunities for yourself. It takes a lot of grit and it's a lot of challenges that come along with it. But that's exactly what we are trying to overcome here. So when you know what to do step by step, it makes the whole transition so much smoother. So the very first thing that you want to do, because being in the alternative finance space and having underwritten hundreds of applications, I can tell you guys that a lot of businesses are making the same fundamental mistakes. And guess what? I made these mistakes too. The biggest, huge error that I ever experienced in my business, we had our merchant processors through Stripe, and Stripe decided one day they were going to shut us down. Guys, that was a huge, I literally thought my life was over. But sometimes God throws obstacles in your way and challenges that you otherwise would think that hell was freezing over. There's no way that you could possibly get out of this. I'm here to tell you that it's simply not true. There is a massive pool of private capital out there waiting for you, but the problem is the strategies on how to get to it. So, how do you start a business step by step? Well, the first thing you want to make sure that you do is you have to make sure that you set up your business credibly and that you set your foundation from the get-go. Why? Because banks, alternative lenders, credit issuers, investors, if they like you, if they like your product, if you have an opportunity, the next thing they're going to say is, let me see your financials. Let me see your paperwork. Let me see your business plan. Let me see more about you. And if you don't have that ready to go, guys, you could have just missed an opportunity. So the very first thing you want to do, remember, from a lender perspective, we want to step outside of, hey, I think I should be able to qualify for this because I need it. That is the biggest lie that you could possibly be telling yourselves, and it hurts you in the process. Part of this process and being successful is being completely transparent, accountable, and aware of where you currently stand. That is the only way that you're going to move forward. So if you are operating a business, let's say you've started, you've got this great idea, but you've got customers, you're selling, but you're depositing into your personal bank account. You don't actually have your business registered. Well, guess what? You're not going to get funded. Okay. And at some point, you are going to need money to grow, whether that's for marketing, whether that's for payroll, whether that's for hiring, whether that's for software, for building an office, if you need supplies, whatever that is, you are going to need money. And the biggest thing that hits a lot of businesses is cash flow. So, how do you set up your business credibly and how do you build a solid foundation? Well, let me tell you how to get started. First, you want to go to your Secretary of State and file. Regis is an excellent resource. If you are a consultant, if you are working in e-commerce, let's say you do drop shipping, if you own a cleaning business, like no matter a service-based business, whatever that is, maybe you're a contractor, right? You are working from home. Let's say you're working from home. You don't have a physical brick and mortar location yet. The one thing you have to do is be protecting yourself, separating your liability. Think about this. Let's say you have a disgruntled employee. Your business information is public record. They can look you up, they can find you, and they can come into your address. Is that where you want? Where your children sleep? Where your wife is? Where your husband is? I mean, is that what you want? People are crazy. You know what I'm saying? So you got to protect yourself and separate this liability. Not to mention, you are opening yourself up for better rates and terms. Remember, the goal here is to look like a credible business with a solid foundation. And in order to do so, you cannot be registered to your home address. You're severely going to limit your options. Now, that being said, can you get funded under these circumstances? Yes, you can. I've seen it happen all the time. But you're not going to get the best rates, you're not going to get the best terms, and eventually you will hit a wall. Unless you have these strategies in place, eventually it's going to tap out. So those are the very basic things that you want to start out with building your business, and often the most overlooked that people go back to later. If you already have your business established, don't worry. Okay, you can fix this, you can make amendments. The goal is to get it done. You don't just want to keep pushing it out, because eventually you're going to hit a wall when you do need financing. Every business needs money to grow. So when you set yourself up in the best way possible, by building a solid foundation, by building a credible foundation. And you do that by filing your business with your Secretary of State in your state. If you need the list, reach out to me. And then you need to go and get an EIN from your IRS, and then we get a DUNS number. But we don't do any of those are the last. We don't do that part until you've got your website set up, you've got your address established, you've got your email established, you've got your phone number established, because those are the things that are going to go on your application when you file for the Secretary of State. And then when you're moving to the next step and you're going to the IRS, it has to match what you put on your Secretary of State application. Everything has to match across the board. One of the biggest red flags that gets most businesses, most entrepreneurs denied is mismatched information. What happens? It triggers a red flag in the system. Remember, before your application gets through to where you can sit down with a banker, it has to go through an algorithmic process. And unfortunately, sometimes those just spit out denials. So 80% of businesses are getting declined by traditional banks. Don't even be discouraged by that. If that's you and you've been in and the bank has told you no, there's a reason. The only thing you need to do is be reaching out and scheduling a call with one of our advisors at 888-488-4145 so we can help pinpoint what that reason is. Because if you want the best rates, the best terms, and the most amount of money for when you really need it, or if you have marketing that you want to do, or if you have new clients that you want to bring on, or if you have payroll and you want to have a higher staff, or if you've got a new contract coming up, but you can't fulfill the contract unless you get an additional crew. These are all things that pop up all the time. And in order for you to capitalize on those moments, or even get yourself out of a tough situation, you need to have these things in place. So if you're going to be seeking, let's say, $250,000 or less, make sure that you are depositing into a business bank account, you are showing cash flow. If you've been in business less than 2 years, then know what some of the other things that you can do to balance that out. Banks want to see 2 years. If you don't have that, do you have cash flow? But before you even get down to that, figure out if you have a credible foundation, and you cannot stop yourself here. There are many options out here that most entrepreneurs don't know about. Once you have those pieces set up, you can apply for SBA financing, you can apply for SBA Express financing, you can apply for asset-based lending, you can apply for collateral, you can apply for a lot of different options, but SBA financing is a really good one. Once you have these set up, you're good to go. The biggest thing you don't want to be doing is pulling out your personal cards, pulling out your personal credit, and using that, especially in the beginning, to build your business. Guys, I cannot tell you how many credit scores I have seen drop from like 750 and above to like 500 because they bought cars under their personal, because they're buying supplies, because they went and bought equipment, because they're going to Sam's Club and they're going to Amazon and they're gas and maintenance, all this stuff they're purchasing under their personal, which you will eventually hit a wall. If you want to have any type of life, right, you have to make sure that your stuff is on point, which is a lot of Americans honestly are having trouble with. One of the biggest problems that we have in this state right now is credit card debt. So guys, be on top of this. If you want to build a successful business, you can. But the only way to do it is to build a credible and solid foundation. And if you need help with how to set this up, then give me a call at 888-488-4145. You can also schedule a call with my team at plan.dominoeffectsgroup.com. Change your life with business, but know that you have the power here to take control. You don't have to take, just because the bank said no, doesn't mean that you're out of the race. It means that there's just a few tweaks that you need to fix in order for you to move on and get this money, honey. That's it for today's training. I really appreciate you guys showing up. And if you found this information helpful, then please go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so I can continue to make more free courses and trainings just like this one. And if you guys have any questions on how to build your business, what type of industry you're in, if you've applied and they've said no and you want to discuss it, you want to figure out why, then go ahead and shoot your questions to 888-488-4145 or go ahead and leave it down below. I reply to all of the comments that are left here on the channel. All right, guys, that's it for today. See you next time.